Russ situation. I bet Brandon knows that too. And what does the footballing GOAT Tom Brady have left to prove? Good Thursday morning,
Listen
everyone.
to your wife,
Welcome
Tom.
to First Things First.
She's a smart lady.
And Nick,
listen to your wife.
Brandon,
What do you have to say?
and Wild. Nick, I assume you want him to retire. I bet your advice is you've done enough.
I just
Why don't
want
you just
him
head
to
off into the
listen
sunset?
to those around him who have his best interests at heart. I want what's best for Tom Brady. Giselle wants what's best for Tom Brady. Listen to your wife, Tom.
I love it. What's best for Tom? All right, we'll get to Tom Brady in a second, but we got to start with some Jazz Sixers. Hey, if you've been watching us all week, you know there's a great divide between MVP picks on this show. Brandon's been beating that drum for Joel Embiid, and last night, a huge reason why. How about 40 points and 19 rebounds? How about a game-tying 3 to send it to overtime? How about a win over the team with the best record in basketball? Nick, I got to start with you. Did last night sway you at all? Do you agree with Brandon that Joel Embiid is the best player in basketball?
I do not agree with Brandon. However, last night was spectacular for a number of reasons. It was great for me, for my Eastern Conference winning pick, the Philadelphia 76ers. It was great for the America that the Jazz are becoming less and less necessary to be talked about despite their incessant complaining. It was great for Brandon Marshall and his insane take that Joel Embiid's the best player in the league. So let's go through why it was great. Joel had a signature moment. That 3 on a broken possession to force overtime against the Jazz, if Joel wins the MVP, will be one of the first highlights that is shown. It's not quite Steph Curry's 38-footer to beat the Thunder in 2016, but it's a hell of a signature moment. Speaking of the MVP, here's another thing that happened last night. Joel Embiid took the lead at the midway point in the MVP race. LeBron didn't play.
Wow,
the Lakers have been losing. The Sixers beat the Jazz. Yeah, Joel Embiid took the lead in the MVP race. That's also good for Brandon. Now, the third thing that happened last night, not so good for Brandon, which is Brandon and Kevin Durant and James Harden and Kyrie Irving and Brooklyn fans watched that game and they were like, oh boy.
This has nothing to
DeAndre
do
Jordan
with the Nets.
You're gonna slow this guy down. No, I'm just painting the picture.
This has nothing to do with the Nets.
All of that happened, Brandon. I'm just painting the picture. I'm just painting the picture. But to answer the question,
don't paint the picture.
Did Joel Embiid prove he's the best player on the planet? The answer is no, because that is not something one can prove in February. But he did take the lead in the MVP race, and he is right now having the best season of anyone in basketball for, you know, my beloved Philadelphia 76ers, Brandon Marshall.
Wow. So, well, good thing it's March now, Nick, so he can prove that he's the best player on the planet in March. 3 weeks ago,
you're right. You're right. It's not February.
And,
you're right.
Right. So 3 weeks ago, I stood on the show and said, you know what? This dude is not only proving that he is the clear-cut MVP, he's also proven that he's the most dominant player on the planet. And that hasn't stopped. He's just continuing to pack on to that statement. This dude is playing lights out. He's playing phenomenal. What made LeBron James the best player on the planet? Why did we fall in love with LeBron James going back to when he was in high school? Because this dude can do it all, and he dominated night in and night out. He played defense. He played offense. He can, well, starting to develop a better shot. He can get to the basket. He can get buckets in the paint. That's why we love LeBron James. So, Kevin, when we think about Joel Embiid, there's nobody doing it better. This dude is 7 feet. He could potentially be the defensive player of the year. He could have been the defensive player of the year last year. He should have been a defensive player of the year last year. And now on the offensive end, he's shooting threes. Look at the 3 he hit last night. Look what he did last night. If that didn't say it all to you, I don't know what else I can say. I'm not going to sit up here and argue and go back and forth with Nick. All you got to do is watch the film. Look at this shot. Come on, man. This is Dirk Nowitzki. This is Kobe Bryant. And he's 7 feet tall doing this. And get in the paint, he can do whatever. So, Kevin, he is the best player on the planet.
I'm starting to agree with you, Brandon, and I'm very happy for you. There's only one issue. Our friend Donovan Mitchell is like, you know what? In my mind, the Sixers didn't even win. We won. The Jazz won. Donovan got thrown out of the game for 2 techs. Embiid was lobbying for a tech at one point, even though they're buddies, Adidas fam. Leaves the game. There's a little Gatorade cooler there, empty. I don't know if Donovan knew it or not, but it's a savvy move. Could have hurt his hand. He's like, where's the Gatorade cooler? I'm frustrated. Hold on. Stand by. Should I throw a chair? No, my friend's right there. This isn't going to work. Hey, good job. Good job. I'm out of here. Wait, there's a bangle. Bam. I'm out of there. Here he is after the game.
Apologize to the poor old guy.
This is it's a consistent thing, and you know the question is, can we do it? Can we sustain it? Are we for real? Number one, like yeah, the hell we are, and it's getting ridiculous, KK. That this is what's happening. You know what I mean? We have a whole second half of the season to go and get ready for, but like I'm sick of it. To be honest with you, we all are. You know, and I think this is something that just it eats me. It eats at me, man, and it's. I don't. Y'all know what it is. We all know what it is, but it's really getting out of hand. It's really, really, really getting out of hand, and the league needs to do something about this.
Tough week for the refs, and guess what? We asked our loyal Sixers researcher, Dusty, say, hey, Dusty, does Donovan have a point? He says he does. Old Joel Embiid, and the Sixers getting the most fouls in clutch time. Donovan getting the fewest. Yep. So, Nick, look, I am not one to blame the refs for anything, but I think this is a savvy move from Donovan and Gobert after the game because now this is on the refs' radar, and I expect the Jazz to start getting more calls.
What do you they're not going to get calls.
Just because you're anti-Jazz. Yes, they are.
No.
Once you complain publicly, you will get more calls.
They don't get calls because of the style that they play. That beautiful basketball, the skip passes, Ingles to Bogdanovich to Niang. Guess what? You're not going to get calls because you're not banging it down low. You know why? If they don't get calls in clutch time? Because their big man is Rudy Gobert, who can't score. No, it's not. And I saw Rudy Gobert after the game. He's like, oh, we need more respect. We're a small market. Shut up. Go ahead, Brandon. Then I want to get back to Embiid. But go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, no, that's what I wanted, Nick. I just wanted to get back to Joel Embiid. Jenna asked us about Joel Embiid. You go off and you start talking about the Nets. Wild start talking about Donovan Mitchell. Can we get back to the question, please? Please, Nick.
Yes, we can. And I have a question for you, Brandon. Here's my question for you. Has Giannis Antetokounmpo ever been the best player on the planet?
No.
Okay, then neither has Embiid. That's the rules. Sorry.Hy hasn't Giannis? Giannis's regular season last year, because last year Giannis's regular season and the year before far outstrip what Embiid is doing. But he was never the best player on the planet because you have to prove it to us in the postseason. That's what I meant when I said it was February. It's February, March. Who gives a damn what month it is? I know it's not the postseason. And there aren't a lot of hard and fast rules in the NBA handbook. But there is this one. I'm going to read it to you verbatim. It's section 2.B.3. It is the following. One is not eligible to be best player on the planet until one plays at least one conference finals game. Joel Embiid hasn't ever seen round 3, much less an NBA finals.
Yeah, but that's hard for me.
I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the rules.
It's hard for me to follow those rules when I see a 7-footer. When I go out to the Rucker, or if I go out to Larmer Avenue Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I see a 7-footer, and I'm like, he's probably sloppy. He's probably a liability on the defensive end. But then I see him on the basket by himself, and he's moving like he's James Harden. He's shooting the ball like he's Steph Curry. I'm like, oh, maybe I should take that guy. And then you see LeBron James over there like, oh, he's pretty cool. They're doing similar things. But the dude is 7 feet. That's who I'm going with. So all those other things you can throw out the window. Joel Embiid is doing things that no one has ever done before. You look at, the players in the NBA right now. Let's take this stat. 40 and 10. The players who score 40 buckets, 40 points, and 10 rebounds. Joel Embiid did that 5 times. The rest of the NBA only did that 4 times. So it's not even close when you compare Joel Embiid to not only LeBron James, but we're talking about James Harden, we're talking about KD.
He's having the best year.
He is playing lights out.
He's right now, he's the MVP. He's having the best year. And the only thing there are two saving graces for me in this. One is I love Morey and I root for the Sixers, so I'm happy about it, and I'm happy for Brandon. The other saving grace is this, Jenna. I'm time machining myself. I'm going forward, and I am seeing it's Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. It's Sixers Nets.
I see what you're doing.
And Brandon Marshall's like, oh no, we can't stop the best player on the planet. My beloved Nets are just getting annihilated.
A lot of time to talk about it.
I see it
Meanwhile, Sixers, big win last night. They're at the top of the East heading into the break. Back to football. The Seahawks, they're unhappy with Russell Wilson. Why, oh why? We'll tell you next. First things first.